Forget gurus. Forget anyone claiming to be an online business expert without going through the challenges of entrepreneurship themselves. The Real Money, Real Business podcast is here to prove the best insights in online business comes from your fellow online business builders. We dig into stories of entrepreneurs selling their business on the Empire Flippers marketplace so that you can learn how they made their business profitable, how they overcame obstacles, and what lessons they learned in their online journey. If you want to take your business and your knowledge to the next level, you've come to the right podcast. Let's get started.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Real Money, Real Business podcast. I'm Lauren, and today we have Mitchell and Nicole on the show, and they are selling an Amazon FBA business on the Empire Flippers marketplace. Hey Mitchell and Nicole, welcome to the show. How are you both doing today?
Good. Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us, Lauren.
Oh, it's an absolute pleasure. I'm really looking forward to this conversation. But before we go any further, I'm going to give the listeners a brief overview of your business so that they actually know what we're talking about. So this is an Amazon FBA business. It was created in October 2019, and it's in the home, beauty, and apparel and accessories niches. The average revenue for the business is $119,754 per month, and it makes an average of $24,616 per month in net profit. The assets included with the business are an Amazon Seller Central account with 10 SKUs, domains and all contents and files, supplier contacts, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram social media accounts, an email list with 1,600 subscribers, 2 trademarks and 1 pending design patent, and contractor contacts. Please note that inventory is not normally included in the list price, but further details can be provided to verified buyers. For everyone listening, you can visit empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for listing number 68547 to learn more about this business. Or you can unlock this listing to start your due diligence if you're interested in purchasing this asset. So now that we have that out of the way, let's hear from the sellers. Mitchell and Nicole, can you fill us in on your background in starting and running online businesses?
Sure. I guess to start off, Mitchell and I both met in college studying business. While we were still in college, we actually launched our first business on Shopify, totally different than what we do now. At that time, we were still pretty new to the e-commerce world. Though that business is no longer active currently, it has definitely created great opportunities for the both of us post-graduation. And I guess personally for me, as my career before starting Amazon, right after graduating, I did land a position with a startup company as their e-commerce manager, essentially overseeing their customer service team, managing their online stores. And while we were working our full-time jobs, we then launched our first product on Amazon. By then, I had joined another company, I believe, and at that time, I was with a consumer brand agency. I worked under their e-commerce pillar, focusing in Amazon Seller Central and Vendor Central as one of their account managers. I guess I would essentially help our clients launch their products on Amazon and do the whole A to Z of what Amazon has to offer for our clients. And then fast forward to now, Mitchell and I are both working full time for our business. We had the opportunity to leave. And that's a little bit about me. I'm going to go ahead and I guess pass it over to Mitchell so he can share some of, his experiences with you as well.
Perfect. Yeah. Thanks, Nicole. So a little bit about me. So back in college also, I was a warehouse manager for a family friend, and he was also an Amazon seller. And at that time, I had no idea what Amazon FBA was. I was creating shipments for him, wrapping about 20 pallets a week, and I knew he was moving his units pretty fast. So I started asking him about what he did, and that's when I started learning the ropes of Amazon. And so as I started learning more about the process of selling on Amazon and the logistics behind Amazon FBA, we then launched our first product. And so after that, I finished college and then was hired to work full-time with my family friend as his brand manager. So I helped with researching, sourcing, launching, and optimizing his products on Amazon. And so as I became more confident in the industry, we then launched our second brand. And then from there, I was able to leave my position as the brand manager and also began working on the business full time too.
Yeah, fantastic. It sounds like you both have quite a diverse range of experiences under your belt. Nicole, you mentioned you started off with a Shopify business. So, what made the two of you join forces and decide on Amazon FBA as your platform of choice?
Yeah, so, Amazon FBA stood out to us because, we didn't have to gather and collect and grow our own customer base. Essentially, that was really what gave us that interest from the start. Our first product that we launched on Amazon was actually, I was scrolling on social media one day and I stumbled upon a product that I wanted to purchase. And I was a active shopper on Amazon at that time. I did a little quick search on Amazon, couldn't find the product, and I wanted that 2-day shipping. But, we took a look at that product and we were like, maybe this is something that is viable for us to launch on Amazon because the main category is very, very competitive and there was a lot of search volume for it, a lot of, a very wide customer base for that kind of main category. And the product that we launched was specifically a little bit more unique, a more unique reinvention, I would say, of that particular product. So we launched it, and not too long after, we actually went viral on TikTok. So, if I were to give a little bit of an example, we were selling maybe 25 units per day when we started. And one day it just skyrocketed to over, 100 units per day. And we were like, what is going on? And I started looking on Google. I started looking on, Instagram, Facebook, and I stumbled upon TikTok and then found a video of one of our customers posting our product on TikTok saying, that it's super useful for her. And we went viral and it really jump started our career on Amazon. It really grandfathered this particular listing as well. We are definitely one of the top 2 sellers for this particular subcategory. So yeah, that was kind of how we joined into this Amazon world, you can say.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Going viral on TikTok must have been so exciting. I'm actually going to jump forward in the questions a bit so we can follow on that train of thought. Looking back over your journey with this business, what were the standout moments that you think, okay, yeah, we made it. This is a big success. Basically, your biggest wins since starting the business.
Yeah, so I would say our biggest win is definitely being able to leave our full-time jobs and pursue our business full-time, and being able to see that, wow, we can like leave our full-time jobs. Not that we hated our full-time jobs, but being able to see that, wow, like we're able to build this from the ground up was super impactful. And kind of like one of our biggest goals was to be able to be self-employed at some point. So that was probably the biggest win for us.
Yeah, absolutely. It really validates your decision to start this business when you know that you can be self-sufficient and do it as a full-time job. I'm sure there were some things that didn't quite go according to plan. So what would you say were your biggest setbacks or challenges that you had to overcome?
Yeah, so I would say probably the biggest setback was in the first 2 years of doing this Amazon business. So we launched our Amazon business with not a lot of money. So it took a little while for us to kind of like gather enough to even keep up with inventory. For example, during the viral TikTok time, we were selling so much inventory that we weren't even able to keep up with production. And so when we started to grow faster, there were definitely times where we couldn't keep up with demand. And then also we would have to battle with inventory limits set by Amazon. And we were always constantly worried about running out of stock. But thankfully, we are in a better position now and haven't run out of stock in a while.
Yeah, that's great to hear. I think managing inventory is one of the most difficult things for an e-commerce entrepreneur. You've come so far with this business from where it started, from its humble beginnings. What are the reasons you've decided to sell the business now?
We're looking to sell for, I guess, a couple of reasons, but more so to really focus on our personal business goals, you can say. It's always been our goals to be able to diversify aside from Amazon, to potentially, restart a Shopify business again. And Amazon is definitely a market where, we know and love, and based off of our track history, we've done quite successful, which I'm very proud of, but we're still young and we would love the opportunity to diversify, maybe even tap into a little bit of real estate investing, things like that, and maybe grow another Amazon business, but this time be a little bit riskier. So we run on a set amount of profits at the end of the year for us to invest into next year. We generally launch about 2 to 3 products per year. And when we launch those products, we're very critical with the type of products that we launch, what the profit margins we would like to see, the cost of goods for each individual unit. These are the kind of just the very brief things that we look for. And if we were to sell, we would love the opportunity to invest into more expensive products to launch on Amazon, or, products that cost maybe roughly $10 to $15 a landed cost. So things like that would give us the opportunity to kind of, I guess, expand, grow, and diversify a little bit. And that's really why we are interested in selling our business, to give us that 1 foot step through the door, if that makes sense, and reach into different industries potentially too.
Yeah, I think that's great that you're able to use this business as a launch pad to really spread your wings as entrepreneurs. And I look forward to seeing what sort of projects you're going to get up to and businesses. And hopefully we'll see you back on the marketplace in the future with the next unicorn business.
Yeah, of course, of course.
So let's dig into some of the details of your Amazon business. Are you using PPC or listing description SEO to drive traffic to your products, or is most of that coming from social media?
Yeah, so we definitely run PPC campaigns through Amazon. We currently use an advertising agency to assist us with overseeing our Amazon PPC campaigns. So we started with that agency about a year ago, but before that, I was doing the PPC myself. But I guess we got to that point where we thought, a PPC agency could help us take us to that next level. And then in terms of SEO work, yes, we definitely do our keyword research and try to optimize our listings to the best possible to get the most amount of search volume from customers. And yeah, we've definitely optimized our listings to the best possible way.
Yeah, that's great. It's great that you're also able to sort of delegate that task to an agency as well. I know you mentioned that obviously your TikTok campaigns went viral in the beginning. How much traffic does social media contribute towards your listings now?
Actually, for the video that went viral on TikTok, it was by a customer that we don't even know. We actually don't utilize social media as much as we would like to. That video that went viral, it received over 1 million views, and it was really by a customer who we had no connections with. It was just pure luck and a great opportunity for us to help us grow. That customer, I'm not sure if you're too familiar with TikTok, but there is a very big audience of people who love watching Amazon finds. So a lot of people would try to post great Amazon finds that they would find and hope for a viral video and potentially even build a social media career for themselves in a specific industry or category on TikTok. Just by pure luck, one of our customers, to be completely honest, I don't even know her name. It was just a username, and we searched up our brand name, and that's how we found the TikTok video. We knew, spiking from 25 units per day to over 100 units per day is not organic at all. So we essentially did our research. We spent over an hour searching on, the internet, Google, everything, and eventually stumbled upon the video that went viral. So that's kind of how that went. And yeah.
Yeah, that's incredible. It's almost like winning the lottery that, this TikTok influencer decided to use your product.
It really is. Yeah.
So you mentioned that social media is a potential growth opportunity. What other growth opportunities do you see that buyers can tap into with your business?
Yeah, so I personally believe there's still a lot of room to grow for our business. Like I mentioned earlier, we are limited to a certain amount of capital per year where we can invest into our business. From our eyes, particularly, there are, I guess, a few things that we see are possibilities, such as launching our products into other marketplaces, other countries, could definitely increase our overall sales and profits. There's also opportunities such as adding more variations to our current product lines, different pack sizes, different color variants. You can even go dive into advertising and running more aggressive PPC campaigns. Speaking a little bit about our current PPC campaigns, all of our products are probably running about $40 on average of PPC spend per day. So it's really not super aggressive. So I definitely believe if you ran more aggressive PPC, you could definitely boost our listings even higher. And personally, I guess I would put a little bit more time into social media. And we also have a pretty long email list that we've collected over our time of selling on Amazon. So maybe even utilizing our current email list to essentially grow and market our products even more. And I guess I did want to tap into the fact that we do also have 2 new product launches ready to launch. The listing is entirely complete, simply waiting up for a push of a button to launch it onto the Amazon marketplace. For those 2 launches in particular that are not launched yet, we are expecting a minimum of $6,000 to $9,000 in profits in total combined. So that's also not calculated in our P&L yet because there is no history, and that's also not calculated into our average monthly profit. But as an example too, last year we launched one variation, one of our product lines, and the profits at the end of the year were significantly better for that product. We profited a little over $40,000 in December alone for that one parent variation, that one product line, and actually have 4 new color sets that we are preparing to launch right now. And those 4 new color sets should really not increase PPC spend. It should really only increase profits. So we could definitely expect a lot more at the end of the year. And batch of inventory is on the way. It's on the ship right now. So we should be able to go live on Amazon, added into our group of variations within a month from now. So yeah, I think those are definitely the major opportunities that I see from our eyes, that would really boost and bring this business also potentially to the next level for the potential buyer.
Yeah, absolutely. I think those product launches are going to have a really great impact on the business. And it sounds like there's a lot of opportunities that a buyer with the right amount of capital to deploy can really take advantage of. So really exciting there.
Yeah, definitely.
So let's take a dive into your supply chain now. Can you walk me through what your supply chain looks like? How many suppliers do you have? Where they're based? And how does inventory get from those suppliers to Amazon?
Yeah, so I can talk a little bit about that. So generally, we order inventory based on 3 to 6 month timeframes. So our factories generally produce our products within 30 to 40 days, depending on the quantity. One unique thing about our business is that we actually hold very little inventory at business storage. So a lot of the inventory that we do purchase is shipped straight from China to the Amazon fulfillment center. And we do have a good freight forwarder that we can always, give the contact to as well to the buyer. But she gives us, really great prices, and she handles all of the inventory that gets picked up from China and sent over by sea and then gets shipped directly into an Amazon fulfillment center. And then to answer your question about how many suppliers, so we currently use 3 suppliers and they're all based in China. And yeah, all of our inventory is shipped by sea as well.
Fantastic. Yeah. And do you know what your current inventory limits at Amazon warehouses are?
Yes, I believe our current inventory limit is about 3,300 cubic feet. I know Amazon changed recently to cubic feet storage rather than the unit storage. So it's about 3,300 cubic feet.
Fantastic. And have you had any troubles with, I know you said you don't keep much of inventory, any troubles with running out of inventory space or Amazon restricting your space?
No, so we haven't had any issues with that. Of course, during Q4, there are some storage limits. However, we've been able to properly plan ahead to keep our products in stock throughout the year.
Fantastic. That is great to hear. So it certainly sounds like you've got a very smooth sailing ship, like everything is under control. So can both of you walk me through what a typical work week looks like for each of you when running the business in terms of how much time you're spending on the business and what sort of tasks each taken on?
Yeah, so honestly work pretty cohesively. We kind of start our days together by looking over the sales from the previous day, which then typically leads us to chatting a little bit more about if there is any types of promotions or deals that we can run, if there's any SKUs that needs a little bit of a boost. We also have our weekly meetings with our PPC agency to check in on our weekly spends to see if there's any room for certain campaigns to do a little bit better, if we should push a little bit more money into kind of providing a bigger budget for specific SKUs if needed. But most of the time, I would say we generally spend a lot of time product researching, since we are very particular with the products that we choose to launch. This process usually takes us a very long time. And, we could spend hours in a day and it could lead us to nowhere. It could lead us to absolutely no products that we are interested in or have potential. With Amazon growing day by day and competition growing, stronger and stronger, it definitely takes a lot of time to find that one product that we are confident that will bring in what we are looking for. We start off with kind of a broad search, jot all of the potential product information down, speak to our sourcing agents or suppliers to get kind of a ballpark quote on the cost of the product. And after, shortening that long list of potential products, we then kind of finalize on a few to kind of order samples for and dive deeper into the whole category and stuff. So that's kind of what the gist of our day looks like. And of course, Mitchell has things that he works on by himself as well. And I typically also focus more on the side where I work with our videographer or designers to create beautiful infographics and main images that could really set us apart from other sellers on Amazon. So that's kind of what I typically focus on. And I'm sure Mitchell would love to share, what he does on a day-to-day too, aside from our typical routine.
Yeah, so a little bit about what I do is also speaking with our freight forwarder, making sure the logistics of all of our inventory is good. Some other things that I do work on is I do kind of watch our PPC campaigns closely to make sure we're not overspending and we're getting the most value out of our PPC campaigns. Some other things that I do try and keep an eye out for is things like keyword research and try and optimize our listings to the best possible ways to make sure there's no new keywords that are coming up into this category that we potentially missed. Some other things I do also is I also do work with the suppliers to make sure all of the quality control and the products are all being made on time and things like that. So yeah, I guess we both do a little bit of everything. Of course, there's things that we kind of don't touch because that's her side of the business and my side of the business. But, we try and work together as best as possible.
Yeah, that's fantastic. It sounds like between the two of you, you definitely got your finger on the pulse of the business and you know where it's all heading. I know you touched on this briefly, but can you walk me through the team that you have in place in terms of contractors or employees that help you out?
Yeah, so we work with, the PPC agency, like we've mentioned. That's the only PPC help that we really receive. In terms of other contractors, they are, by project contractors. So we have a photographer, we have a videographer, and we have a designer who assists us with our infographics, main images, A+ content, marketing materials, ad banners, things like that. And I guess these three individual contractors are really the whole gist of our team. And, at the end of the day, it's really just me and Mitchell. We try to do most of the work too. We want to be as involved as possible. So diving a little bit deeper into, what I typically do working with our individual contractors is I would create design briefs for them, just to be as involved as possible to make sure that what we want to create isn't just off of what the designer expects or what the designer wants, but really we do our research in what our competitors currently have as their infographics, what key points we want to point out with our products, what we want to see highlighted, what features, and really work with the designers and photographers to make sure we capture the right images, we highlight the right components of the products, and create a great video that the customers can fully understand the uses of the product within 30 seconds. So working with them closely has allowed me to kind of have that upper hand to kind of control what we produce and what we provide in front of the customers, if that makes sense. So that kind of allows us to be more involved, like I mentioned, but really to give us the upper hand compared to other sellers on Amazon.
Yeah, absolutely. It certainly sounds like you got all your bases covered. You've got to focus on quality and listening to your customers' needs. So with all of that in mind, what do you think the biggest challenge might be that a buyer might encounter when they take over the business?
I think, with any Amazon business, there will always be new challenges, year to year. As you may know, Amazon is constantly changing, whether it is inventory limit structures, FBA fees, whether it's increasing in the fourth quarter or adding a 5% surcharge. Amazon's always changing. So there's always the possibility that we as sellers need to shift our perspective and tackle our products a little bit differently to make sure that it's as successful as possible on Amazon. Diving it into a little bit of the PPC side, the cost of spending on PPC can also increase as well. So there's many factors to Amazon when selling. You really have to make sure that you're balancing yourself, your business, your products with Amazon's constant changes. Though we are self-employed as Amazon sellers, I always joke to Mitchell that at the end of the day, Amazon is essentially the big boss. We play by their rules. So I would definitely think that's a constant challenge for any Amazon seller is to work around the changes that Amazon provides us year to year. So that definitely is a tough one.
Yeah, absolutely. If you got to keep Amazon happy for you to be happy, basically.
Exactly.
So how much support are you willing to offer the buyers to help them navigate these challenges and transition into the business?
Yeah, so we definitely more than happy to provide up to 45 days of support. We do want to make sure the buyer feels as comfortable as possible when we move forward towards the migration period. And so those 45 days is negotiable, and we are definitely open to seeing what the buyer feels they're most comfortable with. But I would like to say that we would like to provide up to 45 days of support to the buyer.
Yeah, that's fantastic. 45 days is very generous. And I think it should be more than enough for the buyer to ease them into the business and get them comfortable learning those ropes. When it comes time to sitting down with the buyer and the nitty-gritty of the sale, would you be open to something like an earn-out agreement?
Yeah, so definitely. We, of course, are open to negotiating an earnout structure that best suits both parties. And, we're all ears, and we're definitely open to something like an earnout.
Fantastic. And would you commit to a non-compete agreement?
Yeah, so definitely. We would definitely commit to a non-compete agreement, and we, of course, don't want to step on each other's toes. So we would definitely sign a non-compete agreement.
Fantastic. Well, Mitchell and Nicole, now that we know more about how your business works, it's time to find out why someone would buy it. So the final question of the interview is, if you had to put yourself into the shoes of a buyer, why do you think your business is a business worth buying?
Yeah, that's a great question. But I guess at the end of the day, I want to note that we really have poured our hearts and souls into this business, growing it from the ground up. When we started this business, we were running off of a very small amount of savings. And looking back at it now, we've definitely grown so much. And, like I mentioned earlier, we are pretty critical with the products that we launch. We have a track history that has been very successful. We haven't launched a product yet where it just didn't turn out the way that we wanted it to. At the end of the day, try to build a Amazon business, though it's not typically how it is, but we typically try to build a Amazon brand where we do put our customers first. At the end of the day, if the customers are happy, we're happy. But I guess to directly answer your question, though, I believe our business is worth buying because there's so much room to grow for the business still. I did mention all the growth opportunities earlier, but if the buyer did utilize those opportunities, I personally believe it would be pretty impossible to not see any growth, especially with the new launches that we have lined up as well for the next potential buyer. The potential profits of the new launches are also, not included on our P&Ls or our monthly net profit. So I definitely believe there's a lot of room to grow still, given the right amount of capital. Therefore, I really believe our business would be a great investment opportunity for anyone. Just takes the right moves. Selling on Amazon is kind of like playing chess. A few right moves would get you to the right position. So, yeah, I think it would be a great investment.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's clear to see that you have a lot of passion for the business and that you've taken great care growing the business into what it is today. And I think, that means it's going to be a really great asset for a buyer to take over. Is there anything else that you would like to share about the business before we wrap up the episode?
I think you've covered a lot of great questions on this interview, so I look forward to meeting any potential buyers. I hope to answer any deeper questions that they might have for us down the line. I would love to speak more about our business and, answer any questions that they might have. At the end of the day, we try to be as open as possible, not holding any secrets or, things that we don't want to share. At the end of the day, we are transferring an asset that is very important to us to another person or another business. So we would be as transparent as possible. We want to also make the buyer feel as comfortable as possible as well. At the end of the day, takes two people to sell a business and it takes two people to buy a business. Both parties need to be happy in order to move forward. And we really want to focus on that and make sure that we're all happy at the end of the day. And yeah, thank you so much for having us as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you and learning about your business and the passion that you have for it, as I mentioned. Thank you so much for coming onto the show and sharing it with us.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Lauren.
All right, everyone. Thanks for listening. To learn more and see if this listing has already been sold, head over to empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for listing number 68546. If you're watching this on YouTube, click the link in the description to go straight to the listing. Once you've unlocked this listing, you'll be given everything you need to know about this business. So until next time, enjoy your digital journey.